What do you mean by this device called to be meter bridge? The first point regarding meter bridge is another form of Wheatstone's network. Another form of Wheatstone's network. Okay. If it is considered as another form of Wheatstone's network means, using this meter bridge, we are going to determine what is the balancing condition. Okay. By determining balancing condition, what are the factors that we can able to obtain by using meter bridge? We can use meter bridge to determine, the unknown resistance of a wire or unknown resistance of a coil. Unknown resistance of a coil. Then the next one, this meter bridge can be used to determine, the resistivity, or otherwise this resistivity is called to be specific resistance. So resistivity or the specific resistance of the coil, for which we have calculated the unknown resistance. So take it as rho. Then the next one, that is the third one, it is not given in your book. It is also used to determine the temperature coefficient of resistance. Temperature coefficient of resistance, which is represented by the letter alpha. Let us study about the description with the help of a diagram. When I am considering the meter bridge consists of an large sized wooden plank of nearly 1 meter length. In this large sized wooden plank, 3 thick copper strips are being placed. So let us consider one of this copper strip as C. Then another copper strip at the other end. Let us consider this copper strip as D. And in between these 2 copper strips, a third copper strip is fixed. Let us name it out as E. So the 3 copper strips are fixed to the wooden board in such a way that in between the 3 copper strips, 2 gaps G1 and G2 are introduced. Let us consider the gap G1 as the left gap and the gap G2 as the right gap. Now, we have to take a wire. That wire should be made up of a material called to be manganese or constantan. This wire, manganese or constantan, is an alloy which is having low temperature coefficient of resistance. So we have to choose a wire which is having low temperature coefficient of resistance. We have to stretch that wire in between the 2 copper strips C and D from point A and point B. So AB, be a wire of low temperature coefficient of resistance made up of an alloy, either manganese or constantan. And this wire is stretched along the side of an meter scale. See, on the board, a meter scale is fixed, and on the side of the meter scale, that wire made up of an alloy, manganese or constantan, for a length of about 1 meter is stretched. Then, in the gap G1, we have to place or we have to introduce the wire or the coil of wire whose resistance has to be determined. Let us consider the unknown resistance as P. In the gap G2, we have to connect a resistance box so that a known resistance can be introduced in this resistance box. Let us consider it as Q. In between the point A and the point B, we have to connect a Leclanché cell, which is acting like a source of EMF E, along with a key. Then, in between or from the terminal E, you connect a galvanometer. Galvanometer is a sensitive device in order to measure the flow of electrical current. Since it is sensitive, in order to protect the galvanometer, a high resistance should be connected in series along with a metal contact J, which is called to be jockey. That jockey is a metal contact which can move over the wire AB, and it can make contact with this wire at any point, so that by adjusting that wire or adjusting that jockey on that wire, the galvanometer can made it to show zero deflection. This is what we are calling it out as its a description. Let us recall that description. According to the diagram, we can say the meter bridge consists of a large sized wooden plank in which 3 thick copper strips C, D, and E are fixed in such a way that 2 gaps G1 and G2 are introduced in between them. We have to consider a wire made up of an alloy which is having low temperature coefficient of resistance. That is, when you are supplying current through that wire, the wire will get heated up. Because of that, the resistance should not increase considerably. For that, we are taking an wire of wire which is having low temperature coefficient of resistance. For such a wire, let us take the example as either manganese or constantan. We have to take an wire of low temperature coefficient made up of manganese or constantan of a length 1 meter, stretched between A and B along the side of the meter scale. In the gap G1, the unknown resistance of the coil which has to be determined is connected. In the gap G2, a resistance box where a known resistance can be introduced and the value can be read or known to us. In between A and C, a source of EMF using Leclanché cell is connected through a tap key. From E, the terminal E, or from the center copper plate E, a galvanometer and high resistances are connected in series along with the jockey. The jockey is a metal contact which can move over this wire AB, so that the jockey can get contact on the wire at any point. Since the galvanometer, which is used to indicate the flow of electrical current, is sensitive, in order to protect that galvanometer, a high resistance is connected in what? A high resistance is connected in series. Okay, how we can able to study about its working? After making all these connections, we have to move the jockey from the point A towards the point B. So we have to move the jockey, J-O-C-K-E, okay, move jockey, J-O-K-E-Y, move the jockey from the point A towards the point B. So when you are moving the jockey from A to B, when you are placing the jockey at A, you can able to see a deflection in the galvanometer on one side. The zero of galvanometer will be available at the center. So when you are placing the jockey at the end A, the deflection will be on one side. If you are placing the jockey at B, the deflection will be on other side crossing zero. So somewhere at some point in between A and B, the galvanometer should show zero deflection. We have to find that point. So you move the jockey on the wire till the deflection in the galvanometer becomes zero. And I am placing the jockey at A or nearer to A, there will be a deflection in the galvanometer. Adjusting the jockey. we have to make deflection to be zero. Deflection to be zero. Where? In the galvanometer. Okay. Deflection to be zero in the galvanometer. Let us note that point. Let that point be J. Let that point be J. The point where the galvanometer shows a zero deflection when the jockey is placed. Let us consider that point as what? Let us consider that point as balancing point. Now, you measure the position of the balancing point from A. So, from A, the balancing point is at a distance of, at what a distance? It is at a distance of from A to J. That A to J, let us measure it out as L1. That length AJ, which is equal to L1, is called to be what? Is called to be the balancing length. Then what is the remaining length then? That remaining length is JB. What is that remaining length JB? Let us consider that remaining length JB as L2. How I can find that L2? See, the total length AB minus AJ will be giving you JB, isn't it? AB minus AJ will be giving you L2. So L2 will be equal to, what is AB? AB is 1 meter, or it is equal to 100 centimeter, minus what is AJ? AJ I have marked it out as L1. So L2 equal to 100 minus L1 in centimeters. Again, I will be explaining. First of all, we have to say this meter bridge is another form of Wheatstone's network. As you know, the Wheatstone's network consists of 4 resistances like this. Isn't it? One is considered to be P, another one is Q, another one is R, another one is S. In between these two, we are having the galvanometer. And in between these two junctions, I am having an EMF and a key. I am taking this junction as A, this junction as B, and this junction as E, and this junction as J, according to our meter bridge diagram. Now you see, instead of P, you are having the unknown resistance. Instead of Q, I am having the known resistance. What is this R and what is this S? The resistance R is replaced by resistance of this length L1. And the resistance S is replaced by resistance of the length L2. Since the resistance of a wire is directly proportional to length. Then you see, in between A and B in the meter bridge, you are having an EMF and a key. Here also you see A and B, you are having an EMF and a key. Then in between E and J, you are having the galvanometer. Yes, in between E and J, you are having the galvanometer. So meter bridge is another form of what? Another form of Wheatstone's network. Now what we have done? We have adjusted the jockey and produced zero deflection in the galvanometer of the meter bridge. If so, the meter bridge is said to be balanced, isn't it? So I can say, since no deflection in galvanometer, the meter bridge is said to be balanced. Meter bridge is said to be what? Said to be balanced. If so, I can apply the condition. What is that condition? We have told, if it is balanced, then P by Q equal to R by S. So P is the unknown resistance, Q is the known resistance. How we have replaced R and S? R is replaced by the resistance of L1. So I can write like this. Resistance of L1 divided by, what is S? S is nothing but resistance of L2. So resistance of L1 is nothing but resistance of AJ. So I have to calculate what is that value. I am taking like this. See, resistance of L1 or resistance of AJ is equal to small r into AJ, or I can write small r into L1. What is that small r? Where that small r is the resistance per unit length of the wire. Resistance per unit length of wire. For 1 meter length of the wire, the resistance can be determined, and that, or it will be given that for 1 meter length, the resistance is taken to be R. Now I am in need of the resistance of the wire of length L1. So L1 multiplied with the quantity for the resistance for 1 meter will be giving you the resistance of L1. Similarly, I can able to calculate the resistance of L2 or resistance of the remaining length JB, which is equal to R into JB, which can be written as R into L2. Now you take these two values and substitute in this equation, that is in the above equation, what you can able to get. Therefore, I can write P divided by Q equal to, instead of R, I can write small r into AJ divided by small r into JB. So this R and this R can be get cancelled. AJ is L1 and JB is L2. So I can write P by Q, or P upon Q is equal to L1 upon L2. So from this equation, I can calculate the value of P. So the value of P equal to cross multiply Q into L1 by L2 or L1 upon L2. So from this, the unknown value of Q is determined. See, we have calculated the value of P, which is equal to Q into L1 by L2. But this value of P is having an error. This value of P is having an error. What is that error? That error is usually called to be end error, or we can call that error as end resistance. What do you mean by this end error or end resistance? You see, when you are considering the two copper plates C and the copper plate D, which are kept at the two ends, in between which we have stretched the wire of length 1 meter, the end A of the wire and the end B of the wire are fixed to the copper plate with the help of lead. That is, soldering has been done to the wire in order to fix the wire with the copper plate. So some amount of resistance will be included at the ends along with the resistance of the wire R. And that end resistances are not included in measuring the values. So an error is occurring in while measuring the length or while measuring the resistances of the length L1 and the length L2. So we have to eliminate that error. How to eliminate? So what we are doing, in order to eliminate that end error, we are going to interchange the resistances in the two gaps. See, we are having two gaps, isn't it? G1 and G2. Now, the unknown coil of wire, unknown resistance of that wire, which is connected in G1 is taken and connected to the gap G2. And the known resistance Q is taken from G2 and it should be connected to the gap G1. See, this process, we are calling it out as interchanging. So in order to eliminate that end errors, interchange the resistances P and Q, interchange the resistances P and Q in the gaps G1 and G2, in the gaps G1 and G2. Again, you repeat the procedure. Again, you repeat what? You repeat the procedure and take another set of L1 and L2 and take another set of L1 and L2 and determine what? And determine the unknown resistance P again. Now, the average value of the two concepts. Now, the average value of P. Average value of P. What is the average value? That is, we have taken two values. One is before interchanging, we have obtained a value P. And after interchanging, we have taken another value P. You take a ratio or mean value for these two, from which the unknown resistance P can be calculated. So from which we can able to calculate the unknown resistance P can be calculated. Hope you should have understood this. By interchanging the two resistances, we can very well eliminate that error, or we can able to minimize the end error that is available in the meter bridge. புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். மக்களே புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Hope you should have understood. சரிதானே?
Yes, sir.
Any difficulty?
Yes, sir.
Any difficulty?
No, sir.
நான் போன கிளாஸ்ல ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் சொல்லி கொடுத்தேன். இன்னைக்கு என்ன எப்பவுமே என்ன இந்த மாதிரி இன்டர்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணா என்ன பிரச்சனை அப்படின்னா, நீங்க பிராக்டிக்கலா பார்ப்போம், ப்ராப்ளம் போடும்போது உள்ளதுல பார்ப்போம். நோட் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கோ, எந்த தியரியிலையும் கொடுத்துருக்க மாட்டாங்க. ஆஃப்டர் இன்டர்சேஞ்சிங் அப்படின்னு நீங்க கன்சிடர் பண்ணீங்கன்னா, நல்லா தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க, ஆஃப்டர் இன்டர்சேஞ்சிங் அப்படின்னு நீங்க கன்சிடர் பண்ணீங்கன்னா, இந்த ஃபார்முலா P is equal to Q into L2 by L1 வரணும். ஆனா எப்பவுமே மெஷர் பண்றது எங்க இருந்தே நீங்க மெஷர் பண்ணணும், லெஃப்ட்ல இருந்தே மெஷர் பண்ணணும். இல்லன்னா Pக்கு கீழே என்ன ரெசிஸ்டன்ஸ் இருக்கோ அதை எழுதணும். P by L2 equal to Q by L1. இந்த டயக்ராம் பார்த்தா உனக்கு தெரியும். Pக்கு இப்ப சப்போஸ் ஜாக்கி இங்க இருக்குதுன்னு வச்சுக்கோ, இது L1 இது L2னா அப்ப P by L2 Q by L1. இல்ல நான் இங்க இருந்து மெஷர் பண்றேன் அப்படின்னா இது L1 ஆவும் இது L2 ஆவும் எடுக்கணும். ஞாபகத்துல வச்சுக்கோங்க. ப்ராப்ளம் போடும் பொழுது Pக்கு கீழே என்ன பேலன்சிங் பாயிண்ட் இருக்கோ அதை எடுத்து எழுது, Qக்கு கீழே என்ன இருக்கோ அதை எடுத்து எழுது. புரிஞ்சுதா?
Yes, sir.
புரிஞ்சுதாடா?
Yes, sir.
இதை வச்சுதான் நம்ம வந்து அன்னோன் ரெசிஸ்டன்ஸ் கால்குலேட் பண்ணிருக்கிறோம். ஒரு பார்ட் முடிச்சிட்டோம். அடுத்த பார்ட் என்ன வேணும்? ஸ்பெசிபிக் ரெசிஸ்டன்ஸ் அல்லது ரெசிஸ்டிவிட்டி கால்குலேட் பண்ணணும். சரியா? எப்படின்னு சொல்லி கொடுத்துட்டு சொல்லி கொடுத்துறேன், கவனி.
Yes, sir.
See, in order to determine the resistance or resistivity of the wire, we know the general formula is resistivity or specific resistance is equal to resistance into area by length. Here R should be replaced with P, because in our concept P is taken to be the unknown resistance. Then for that unknown resistance wire, you determine the thickness of the wire with the help of a screw gauge, from which the diameter and the radius of that wire can be determined. After that, you stretch the coil so that the coil of wire is again the length, which can be determined with the help of the meter scale. So the length of the wire known, radius of the wire known, from which area can be calculated. Substitute that value. Instead of area, I can substitute as pi r square, and the resistivity or specific resistance is again given by the formula P into pi r square divided by L. By knowing the value of L, R and P, the specific resistance can be determined using the meters, using the meter bridge. Through the problem, let's go through the problem again. In a meter bridge with a standard resistance of 15 ohm. So the standard resistance is Q, which is 15 ohm in the right gap. So this 15 ohm is in the gap G2, known resistance in right gap. So this is the standard condition. The ratio of the balancing length. Ratio of the balancing length is L1 by L2, which is considered to be 3:2, or I can write it out as 3/2. Find the value of other resistance. The value of other resistance is P. See, since it was being given as balanced condition, the bridge is balanced. So I can apply the condition P by Q equal to L1 divided by L2. I am in need of P. So P is equal to Q into L1 divided by L2. What is the value of Q? Q is considered to be 15. L1 by L2 is given in terms of 3/2. So when you are multiplying 45 divided by 2, so you can get the answer as 22.5 ohm as the answer. So 22.5 ohm is known as the value of the unknown resistance. Hope you should have understood. In a meter bridge, the value of the resistance in the resistance box is 10 ohm. The balancing length L1 is equal to 55 centimeter. Find the value of unknown resistance. Come on, in a meter bridge, the value of the resistance in the resistance box. So if the value of resistance in the resistance box means it is the known resistance. Known resistance is considered to be 10 ohm. They have not given whether it is in the right gap or left gap. If it is not given, you take the standard mode. Standard mode is in gap G2, we are having the known resistance. In gap G1, we are having the unknown resistance. Then the balancing length is 55 centimeter. So L1 is considered to be 55 centimeter. Find the value of unknown resistance. So unknown resistance is asked P. See, since L1 is known, you calculate L2. L2 is equal to 100 minus L1. So 100 minus L1 is 55. So 100 minus 55 is 45 centimeter is taken to be L2. Now you apply the formula, direct formula, P by Q equal to L1 divided by L2. Sir, instead of L2, I have calculated as 100 minus L1. You substitute, then P is equal to Q into L1 divided by L2. What is the value of Q? It is 10. What is L1? L1 is 55. What is L2? L2 is 45. So when I am dividing it with 9, I can able to get 10 into. So 9 varadilliya. 9 here you will be getting 10 divided by 5.5 divided by 4.5. If you are dividing it with 5, you will be able to get 11. Here you can able to get it out as 9. So P is equal to 110 divided by 9. 110 divided by 9 is nothing but 12.2 ohm as its answer. Check it out.